Hey there paper geeks and glitter nerds, it's Shin, and this week I am making 4 confirmation cards. And these are the main supplies I use. I need the sentiment of the NHH Design stamp set, I need the little girl and the boy from the My Favorite Things stamp set. Then there is the Tillykke, means congratulations from Simple and Basics. There is the dynamics die with the houses from MFT, which is going to be used for building a church in the background. The grassy borders will be used for the layers in the pop-up card, and the pop-up card itself is from Blond. And now let's get started on the card. Now, I pre-cut everything, I didn't film it because this is a long video already. I did make this over a few months because of my back problems, so you may see some change in lighting and stuff, but you could probably do this in a week if you wanted to. But I'm batch making, and every single card has its own envelope with all the parts of it. Now here I am making a chipboard out of the congratulations. Now I need to do all the grassy hills for all 4 cards, so this is probably gonna take a while. I have sped it up quite a bit. I didn't dare put it any higher than 800%, but I'm gonna leave you with some music and you can skip ahead if you want. Moving on with the sentiment, the smaller sentiment of the card. It says, old enough to know better, young enough not to care. And if that isn't the soul of a 13-year-old, I don't know what is. I'm gonna heat emboss it. I'm making 2 purple ones and 2 black ones for boys and girls. I'm thinking that heat embossing is pretty rudimentary for most crafters. I know there are some very nice videos out there showing you, if you're brand new to this, how it's best done. So I don't want to go into that. And now let's assemble the church. Here you can see the box pattern paper and all the little parts. I haven't colored the boy in yet. There's going to be a banner with the name of the recipient of the card. All that I'm going to assemble. But first let's do the church. First things first, I cut a square window so that I could make a cross to go on top of the church. It was very finicky and hard to glue on, but it worked. It stayed in place. And I'm gonna, you can't see it, but I'm backing the windows on this blue paper that I pulled out because there's a hole in the church. I need to cover the windows. And this method with the toothpick and glue is very, very useful when you have small finicky parts to glue. I have so much trouble with all the precision tips, and even for this they would be too big. So let's glue on the cross and the roof. A bit of the white from the roof underneath was peeking out, so I'm cutting it back. And I'm just enforcing the cross on top of the church. I don't want it to bend or anything, and not the card will fall flat, of course, but I am still worried because it's such a small part. And I'm cutting the windows out so I can glue them on. And I'm just covering the outline with black so you don't see the blue from the sides. It's a small detail, but I think it's worth it. And like I said, there are holes in the house for the windows, so I have to back it with something. The part of the card where the church is going to be is so close to the back that you won't really notice that I put this scrap piece of paper behind it. And the door. These old churches often have wooden doors, so I wanted it brown, and the easiest way was to take the paper directly to the ink pad. I put the door on the sticky part of this note. And I have to be careful now, because I'll probably get ink on my fingers, and I don't want it on the white of the church. And now it's just assembling the two buildings into one, and then the church is ready, and I just have to make 4 more. But I won't show you that part. Now I know you saw these images earlier falling out of the envelope, but I put it together with the coloring just for easy process. And some of you may notice I have cut the girl away from the chair. Yes, I deliberately cut the girl out of the chair. I figured I would get far much more use out of her if she wasn't attached to it. And it's easy to put her back in the chair, or even I can stamp the chair just as it is. And I have gotten more use of her without the chair. I was very careful about cutting it out, and I'm pretty happy about the result. Now onto the coloring. I'm just gonna leave you with music as I usually do. There's nothing really brilliant about what I'm doing here. I do 4 different little characters because I had to make 4 cards, and each of the people are based on the recipient of the card. So I hope you enjoy. Now everything is colored and ready to go. I'm just gonna assemble the box. I'm only gonna show you one. This one is the girl one. It's in purple, and the papers from Panduro, a Danish crafting shop. They do their own designs. And the boys version is the same card but in black. So I think maybe you've seen me assemble this card before. So I'm not gonna go into detail about all the choices I make. But here I'm gonna assemble the banner, and I just measured out how far apart I can put the poles to hold it, so that it still fits in the card. And I marked it on my table with some tape. Now this is one of the longer names of the cards, but for the shorter ones I make just about the same amount of flags, so that I can add some with confetti on the ends. And I'm gonna glue on the flags, draw on the name, and then draw on the poles, and then I can put it in the card. Easy peasy, except it's kind of fiddly, as you'll see. As I have told in previous videos, I prefer to do both the tape and the liquid glue for every part of this box, so that I'm sure it won't fall apart. These especially might be kept for years if the recipient is sentimental about all the cards they receive for their confirmation, so I wanted to make sure it was in one piece, even when they open it up in 5 or 10 years. If you have wondered about the books, why I colored the boys' ones black and the girls' ones white, it's a tradition in my country to have your hymn book made especially for this occasion, or maybe it's one that you inherit and you get your name put in it in gold or silver depending on the color of this set book. But the girls are traditionally white and the boys are black. So just a little tidbit. As a finishing touch, I'm gonna put some sequins or confettis actually on the card. Both cards get silver stars, but only the girls' cards get the flowers. So, but this will actually be the end of the card. I did put panels on the backs of both with the message for the recipient, but I didn't film it. And here's a quick look at the product, the boy and the girl card. I only took pictures of one set of them. I didn't think you'd need to know how the other names looked. And here they are folded shut. I really like this distressed effect on the pattern paper. It was a nice touch for that year's collection from Panduro. This was this week's project. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll be having a good day, evening or night.